Hello, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great weekend and gearing up for a great and fantastic week. If you're new to me, my name is Kelly Jackson. I'm your host for this session. I am a former talent acquisition leader, worked for a lot of different Fortune 100, 500 companies and transitioned to this online business world and sharing all of my experience and talent and knowledge with beautiful individuals just like yourself. And so, what I wanted to talk about today is something I wrote down when I was watching church today. And what I wrote down is this. Let me find my notebook. It says, educated on how to survive. Educated on how to survive is what I wrote down. And I wrote that because when you think about just education as a topic, we think formal or traditional education, like going to school. So your elementary, middle, high school, college, secondary degree education. We think about that when we think about education as a whole. We know there's a field, there's an industry, if you will, around education. There's positions and jobs and organizations that provide education on several different topics or subjects, if you will. So that's one realm when you think about education and you hear that word, you hear that term. Another way to think about education is on a type of, I'm grabbing my notes here, on a type of something is what I wrote down. Type of something. Educate. What does that mean? I can't even read my own handwriting. Education on a type of something. What I was thinking about was when I got the recipe book from my mom when she passed away, right? It was dirty and all matted up and pages were falling out. And it was in this little bitty cute binder and different pages had food on it and things like that, right? And so that education was passed down from her mom and now passed down to us. So I'm being educated or educating myself on those different recipes. Or uh, if you're educated on something your uncle taught you on how to change the oil and your granddad taught him and maybe your dad taught you and now you're teaching your son, or you have that knowledge or that education because of something someone taught you. So that's another way to look at education. The other type is educated on a particular topic, similar to what we just shared, being educated on a type of something or educated on a topic, similar to what we do on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. when we get together on YouTube or in the Facebook group. We go live and we discuss a particular topic on something. And so we're educating ourselves on that topic, whether it's severance agreements and how to decipher those and what our rights are, or how to interview. So we're being educated on that topic. And that's how we become knowledgeable and conditioned to knowing more. The more that we do it, the more we consume that type of education, the more knowledgeable we become and the more conditioned we are. Just like conditioning our bodies, you get conditioned to eating right. When you eat good foods and you want a six pack and you want to lose back fat or stomach fat, or you become conditioned to that. If you do it more and more over time, it becomes habitual. And so you're conditioning your body to eat these types of foods to have this type of result. And so I give preface to the sentence that I shared earlier about our topic today, which is educated on how to survive. And I believe that we've been conditioned and educated on being in survival mode because we weren't taught the opposite. We weren't educated on how not to be in survival mode. Do you remember that topic? So you may have seen your parents or your grandparents or someone that you know as you were growing up, or an example in your family on surviving. how to pay bills, how to pay the car note, how to pay the mortgage, how to pay the insurance and the taxes, and how to pay things, how to survive in the world, how to make it in the world. Not from a bad perspective, but just this is how you make it. Quote unquote, make it is almost like surviving. So we were taught, we were conditioned, these are the things that you do to survive. You are a good human in society. You have a good job. You put this away. You treat people well. This is how you survive. But again, I don't know about you, but I don't remember a topic or anyone in my family sharing with me on how to succeed, how to be successful. Now, it's a huge topic now. Everyone is all of a sudden knowledgeable in this area because you can find it all over YouTube or all over Instagram or all over Facebook. This is how you do this. This is how you get to $1 million. This is how you go from zero to so-and-so. This is how you make so much an hour. Everybody's knowledgeable now. But I don't remember us ever being trained, and evidently it doesn't take that long. Like the flip side on just surviving, evidently you don't have to be in survival mode. You can just go ahead and make that million real quick. This is what my perspective, I don't know what you've seen, but my perspective, this is what they're saying. And so if we weren't taught or conditioned on the opposite of how to survive, then all we really know is how to survive or be in survival mode. We know that if we lose a job, all right, we're conditioned. We know we go to the job board, we apply. That's how we're taught. We know when we get that job, when we go into that environment, we have to adapt to that culture. We got to laugh at the jokes. Oh, that's so funny. Who's getting the cake for Susan? Who's gonna congratulate Bill on his promotion? We adapt so that we can survive. And so in this conditioning and in this survival mode, we go through that all our lives. And as midlifers like you and I are, I don't know that we have ever attempted to unlearn that and try something different, because at this point in our lives, it's real uncomfortable. And it's almost awkward, and it's really strange to do something different than what we've been conditioned to do, than what we've been taught to do. Our parents did it. Our grandparents did it. We see other people in authoritative figures that we grew up with do it. So now, Kelly, you saying it's odd, it's strange, it's conditioning? We were in survival mode all this time? I don't know, from my lens, from my optics, from my point of view, I know my grandmother washed people's clothes for, dollars. I walked with her up a hill in Illinois. So it was, what kind of weather that was, but we needed to survive. So we had to go wash some people's clothes. I know my granddaddy had a moonshine business. I know my mom worked for General Motors for 42 years. I know my dad worked for Tyson Chicken in a plant. I don't know anyone outside of my granddad who had to sit with a gun. And when he went to the bathroom, I had to sit with the gun in the chair. I didn't see anything. This is my experience, my example. I didn't see anything else, and I didn't have a label for it until now of surviving. So when I transitioned from corporate to where I am now, online and running my own business, unlearning everything for 50 something years, no, that ain't easy. So I'm not sure what magic sauce they got online, those folks that's going from zero to $1 million in 30 days, or I don't know what that sauce is. I don't know. Because even in the education that we talked about earlier in school, it was always about the goal. I can't wait to graduate. I can't wait till this semester is over. I can't wait till this class is done. I can't wait till I'm 21. I can't wait till I get a car. I can't wait till I can drive. I can't wait to get my license. Can't wait till I'm 25. I can't wait to get my house. I can't wait to get an apartment. Can't wait to. It was always about the goal. So that was conditioning as well. It was never about the process. It was never about becoming. We weren't taught to embrace the process. We weren't taught to take in every moment. We were all taught about the goal. We need to go for that promotion. We need to talk about all the things we've done in our performance review. We need to calculate that 2.5% we get, or that 4% we get, and see how that's going to affect our paycheck, and see how else we can leverage that money. We weren't talking about the 12 months in between that performance evaluation and all the things and experiences that we acquired throughout that time frame, what we learned, what we gained, what we won't do again, all the experience, what we learned about this person and that person, and this experience and this skill and this project and this business unit and this department. And what we weren't taught to embrace that and to write that down and to remember that and to leverage that to get us to our goal. It's just always been about the goal. And so I wanted to talk about this because I believe it's important, because nobody told me this. And had I known that the labels that I gave myself throughout my life and others gave me, not intentionally to harm me, it's just because of the conditioning. The label of she's shy, hold your head up, Kel. And going through school, when they say, you got to raise your hand to go get a pass to go in the hall, you had to get permission to do this. Don't look at nobody else's paper because you're a cheater, so you can't ask nobody for help. Don't you dare talk to strangers, because that's a bad thing. So when it comes to networking and talking to people and talking about ourselves, is uncomfortable, is awkward, because we were taught, we were conditioned, these were all bad things to do. You got to get permission to go to the bathroom. You got to raise your hand to ask a question. So we don't ask questions in meetings. We don't speak up in those meetings at work because of the conditioning. Because we're trying to what? Survive. We just want to get our paycheck and go home. But now that we out here and we need more money to survive, trying to work on a side hustle or get a business, it's overwhelming. It's daunting, everything you have to do. It seems like too much. It's because we weren't taught anything outside of surviving. So it seems better over here because there's a level in our minds of security. But what we really want, and what you and I both know what we want, is freedom. But 90% of people will take the security. I get that check on the 1st and the 15th. And I got this 401k, and I got this benefits, and I got this job. And so I'm okay not having my freedom. But I digress. Getting back to the topic on educated on how to survive, I just thought I would talk about that because I don't care what the age is, what your age is, what my age is, we are still becoming. we know not yet who we shall become. And if you let your age stop you from becoming who God already knows you to be, you're doing yourself a disservice. No, I'm not a preacher. I'm not trying to preach to you. That is not what I'm here for. It's on my heart, so I'm saying it. If there's no episode, that means I don't have nothing to say. Some other things that I wrote down, and then I'll wrap this up. I wrote these down. I'm opening my book here. Now, I write scribbly, so I'm trying to read my own handwriting. It says, too many of us are used to forcing our way through something. I put a star by that because I think about forcing our way into a position when we look at a job description. So we got to fit into the job description. We got to fit into the culture at work. We got to fit into the cadence and the flow and how the environment is at work. You know, when you start a new job, you have to adapt. You got to laugh at the jokes. You got to attend the cake in the break room. You got to put the mask on. The other thing I wrote down is because you can't see how it's going to end doesn't mean you shouldn't get started. So when I was saying I don't care about your age, it's because we let that limit us. And I'm going to be honest with you, because I think that you and I are a lot alike. I'm here to tell you that I'm just getting started. And I believe you feel the same way. Another thing I wrote down was we often rather than help each other, we duplicate and imitate rather than get together and empower each other. It's one of the reasons why I started the community. One of the reasons why we get together on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a sense of community and support and empowerment. One of the reasons why I created the Income Investors Network on YouTube, so we can empower each other. If you're not in that group, you may want to get in there. We're about to turn it up in there. You can hit that join button next to my face on my channel. I am Kelly Jackson. You can search I am Kelly Jackson, Kelly with an I. Hit that join button. The last thing I wrote down is our obedience is about a much bigger plan. Sometimes we're so focused on the goal, we're not embracing the process. We're embracing the moment. It's bigger than you. We need you to become and be who you were meant to be. Whatever you're feeling inside, and I know you're feeling something because you're listening to me, and I know the people that's connected to me are just like me. It was something I was feeling, and I was bold enough to step out into it. I need you to do that because that's what this community is built upon. And I know this is going to sound cliche, the next thing I'm about to say, but I'm telling you, the world needs you because it's bigger than you. I don't know what it is. I can't even tell you how to get there. But what I can tell you is when you step out, your steps are ordered and everything will come into play, but you got to take the first step. Thank you for listening. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you in the next episode.